Are you going to talk about your vagina this podcast?
I'm not going to talk about my vagina, but I am going to talk about my butt.
Okay. That's okay. We can deal with that.
There you go. Addison, you know what? Don't listen if you don't want to hear about vaginas. That's what I say. I know you're having a hard time looking at me in the eyes right now because you know about my labial injury, and now it's in the episode. There you go.
Let's just podcast.
Let's podcast. Are we podcasting? Let's podcast.
We're podcasting right now.
Thank you for coming to the hashtag IMOMSOHARD podcast. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can also find us on the social medias.
Follow us in all those places because we're kind of doing different stuff in all the places.
We're doing all the different things in all the different places, and we're on the TikTok. We're on the Instagram. We're on
Facebook,
Twitter, YouTube's.
The YouTube's. You can watch this video, and I'll tell you right now, we look even hotter than we sound.
That's right. And both of us have what I like to call vacation travel voice.
Gravelly.
Mad. I'm actually in a great mood because I'm not around my family.
It was a lot of togetherness. I think part of what the sound of my voice is that it was a wonderful vacation that we took with our families and another family, and I like to plug my nose when I dive into water, and I didn't, and I have an ear that's exploding right now. I have very open sinuses. Yeah. That's what the boys all say.
And in case you haven't heard, here's what we did. We had the wonderful, most awesome opportunity to go to Costa Rica with my family, Jen's family, and another family. They're the Gall family. They're very good. We're all very, very good friends. They have two boys that are 11 and 8. Jen's kids are 7 and 9. My kids are 11 and 9.
Perfect.
So it is like summer camp for them. It is so fun.
And they know people who know people. So we got this awesome Airbnb hookup, and we flew there.
Flew there all together, and this is where our story begins. So the Gall family was there first. We flew next, and we flew at 4 p.m. If I were writing a tourism blog, I would say don't do that.
And see, so the only other option was to leave at
like 3 in the morning. Yeah, so everything was terrible in terms of flights, and we didn't want to pay $1 million.
And so as a mom, you have to do this math. If I get the kids up at 2:30 or 3 to drive to the airport, they're going to suck all dang day long.
Yeah.
If I take them in the evening, they're just going to suck in the evening.
And then they're going to go to bed.
Yeah.
That was our reasoning.
Yes.
Plus, we didn't have a ton of options. At one point, they were like, you'll leave from L.A., you'll go through Iowa.
Later, you'll be in Miami.
You'll be in Sweden. Then you'll circle back. It'll be a 26-hour flight.
We're doing our best,
in my head, I'm like, you do save $100, don't we?
I know, but you can't with kids.
You can't with
kids.
Spend
the $30 and don't get the layover.
Pay the $30, direct flight. Yeah. Which is, and by the way, I should just work for the tourism department of Costa Rica because I cannot say enough good things about this wonderful country. The people in it, the food, the fun, the adventuring that you can do with your family from all ages, the beaches, it was literally the most fun. And now I see, everybody had been saying to us, Costa Rica is so fun. But we booked the trip, and then we were like, we're just out now so busy. We can't think about it until the night before we leave.
Yeah.
Which does make an important point for a big mistake I made down the road.
Just to really hit the food note as hard as I possibly can. I ordered nachos every day, and I tell you what, I'll do it again. I don't care, you guys. They were the best nachos I've ever had.
The best beans I've ever had.
The best
best nachos I've ever had.
Yeah.
Some of the fruity cocktails at the pool were enough to, I was like, I'm going to pretend I don't know any of you, and I'm on a convention that I won for being top sales at a pharmaceutical company, and I'm just enjoying myself. There were a couple times I looked at Jen, and I was like, your kids are being really loud.
Yeah, and I was like, sorry about that, ma'am. We had this fantasy that we were acting out where Kristin was just by herself.
Yeah.
And I had these ill-behaved children.
Right. So I would just look at Jen and be like, ma'am, can you take control of your children? The ones named Finn and Eleanor are being real
and I would say,
buttholes right now.
I cannot.
I cannot, ma'am.
Let me get to that right after I finish these nachos. But they
And
were
this
so huge, I
pomegranate
never
margarita.
finished them. Oh my God, they were so good.
They were so good. So we end up in this Airbnb. The Airbnb is pretty nice.
Look, it's
I
Airbnb.
have notes.
Well, listen, I always have notes about Airbnb. I don't want to stay in them. I want somebody to wash the towels. That's not me.
You and I are very different in this. I was thinking about it a lot because I knew we were going to talk about it today. Here's my thought on an Airbnb versus a hotel. First of all, I like creature comforts. So I do like being able to do a little bit of laundry.
Everybody likes it
but
me.
You're not. No, I agree with you.
My husband prefers it. The kids prefer it. There's a common space for everybody.
But everything gets really dirty and then it's on us to clean it. But here's what I will say. I like a hotel if I'm there for 3 or 4 days max. Then I like a hotel.
Yeah.
But if we're going to be there for like what we were like 7, 8 days, I like an Airbnb because I kind of like to do a few pieces of laundry. So when we get back, I'm not doing laundry for 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
Like I totally see why you like going to a hotel. And also because you and I are the people that will get up. We will pick up the towels. We will go do a load of laundry. We will sweep the floor. We will make the meal. And I think everybody contributed so nicely to this.
Britt was on the schedule where he was up at 4 a.m. So when the kids popped up straight out of bed.
He makes the best pot of coffee of anybody. I know.
I told you, that's why I'm addicted to coffee. And he really is.
And by the way, Costa Rican coffee is
very
wonderful.
Good. But he got up and with the kids, he kept the peace and because they're all up on iPads or trying to run the neighborhood and stuff like that. And he made sure.
But I can understand why a vacation feels more like a vacation if you just have everybody do everything for you. But for me, I just start to feel financially fatigued because I'm like, I just want to have breakfast in where we're staying and one meal of the 3 meals where we're staying so that a hot dog goes a long way with kids. If I cannot pay top dollar for a hot dog and they're happy, then when we go out to dinner, I don't mind loosening up a little bit. And, I think I'm being extra frugal because at the same time we took this vacation where our house is getting renovated. So I have no extra dough.
I do try to figure the food in because I love food so much that it's a part of the experience for me.
Totally.
So the idea of eating Cheetos when we're in a place that has interesting food makes me sad.
I fully agree with that.
But Britt, my husband, their family traveled so much because his dad was a pilot. So if there was a country he was headed to and there were empty seats, they got on them.
Yeah.
And he said if they were in France or something, they would buy a baguette. And he's like, that's what we ate for the whole day.
He told me that too. He said he'd get one big meal a day. And I kind of like that.
I do too. And then you experience that place.
And you're not like, oh my God, by the time you eat dinner, you're not like, oh my God, we've spent just so much money on crap.
It gets yucky. That's why, hey, here's some great parenting for you guys. I'll accept my trophy whenever you want to give it to me. My daughter really only thing she felt safe eating was French fries. She ate French fries and fruit basically every meal, and I don't care.
So did
because
I, and
it
that's
costs
why my pants are
$1.
Off the circulation of my thighs.
Costa Rica is also not that terribly expensive, which is nice.
It's middle ground expensive. It's middle ground expensive, but the reason is because overall their tourism and they just attract so many travelers. It's fairly safe. With that being said, here's the other thing. Costa Rica runs on the colon. Am I saying that right?
I think so. It's colon.
It's the colones. Colon is their currency, and the conversion is like this. Here, do you want a taco? It's 250,000 colones.
A train leaves Chicago going 55 miles per hour.
And you're like, wait, what is that in American? And they're like, divide it by 665. You're like,
yep.
So basically this taco is, can you just take the money from my hand? They're like, do you accept American? And I'm like, oh, it's $40 a taco. Great. You could have I had zero idea of how much anything costs in reality.
Because it's like 30,000. The guy was like, we were, Chris and I were buying these T-shirts for the boys. The guy goes, 33,000. I go, so that's like $33. Because I was like, that's not too terrible.
Well, we were in need because both of our kids didn't have shirts.
Desperate. And then he's like, no, that's
$1.30.
Yeah.
And I go, for this Gucci shirt, which by the way, Finn thinks is fully real.
Sure.
And I'm like, yeah, man.
That's why you wear it with confidence, but people think it is.
If you have a shirt that simply has a Gucci stamp on it and you think it's real and it carries you through thinking it's real.
Don't mind that Fruit of the Loom tag in the back of it. You might want to cut that out. Where's that to gym class?
Yeah,
somebody's going to go.
Finn doesn't understand that like underneath is like a Corona symbol. He's like, what? I don't understand. It's Gucci to him.
Gucci's peeling and it looks like
good. There's a sign underneath from a school.
Looks like it says Bud Light.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
The beer of the country is Imperial, which is delightful.
Very cool logo.
Fun lager.
Yeah.
We drank the drinks. We ate the food. We had so much fun. I felt like what was really fun about it is we would go do an activity and then we would chill. And so in the Airbnb, another good reason for Airbnbs is it happened to be in this one, we had a pool with a swim up bar. So when we were at the house, we could get out of the house, go to the beach. Kids could swim at the beach, then spray off, then go get in the pool. And again, I'm like, we can have food here because we ate breakfast in the hotel. You see what I'm doing? I'm like, we ate food in the Airbnb. We're saving a little bit of money.
Yep.
We can show. Then one night we had dinner at the Airbnb.
Yep.
And that felt good. And then the next night we went and had a killer like dinner. But I think my favorite dinner was our last dinner, the one place that you found on the beach of Herradura, where here's the other thing that's cool about Costa Rica. All of their outdoor dining literally like butts up to a beach.
Yeah.
But it's not fancy. It's like flip-flops and
you can
casual
wear a swimsuit
and like
the nicest restaurant.
Oh God, everything looks like
there's like swings you can sit on and eat your food on the beach.
People
it's
are
incredible.
like barbecuing on the beach. I'm like, I think I need to live here.
I have one more food thing to say.
Yes, please.
I don't think it makes sense to pay for breakfast for sure. Because it's the same kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just different variations of the same thing. So it's like...
Their eggs were fantastic. Fresh.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think kind of anywhere besides the U.S. you're going to get a good egg because it's real chickens and it's not like...
So good.
You know, it's like a hard shell to break.
I agree with you. Like, breakfast is an easy way to save money.
Totally. And so is kind of lunch if you just save it from the night before or something like that.
I'm a big fan of leftovers. You guys can see I'm a real good time travel-wise. One of us is real tight-ass budget, and one of us is a good time. So
one of us is going to have a lot of regrets later.
Same.
And
I still will.
Having a new kitchen installed. So I think we see how this makes sense.
I think I'm just going to have somebody asking for money that I don't have, and I'll be like, ooh, I could have made some different choices in this last week.
It's never going to come down to a baguette. If it's going to, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, but overall, I thought we had such a wonderful time.
Yeah,
I feel good for refreshed. Our family. I feel refreshed. I feel like
I honestly was like, okay, kids start school next week. I'm going to start doing my walking and yoga again as soon as I drop them off, and I'm going to cook. We'll see if this works at all. We'll see if I do any of these things.
I got home and we ordered food because
we ordered food.
We ordered food because we didn't have anything that was fresh. Yeah, I mean, let's push it off a couple days. Let's not be. Who are we, heroes? No. Here's a fun event that happened, and I was very proud of us. I think we always crap on ourselves as mothers, and especially like when you're traveling and it's very stressful. Yeah. But I thought something good happened that I felt good about how we handled it. But then let me tell you, there's plenty of times in this trip where it could not have been more self-loathing. That we will talk about on another episode. That has to do with the zip line. I'm not ready to talk about it. Also, a hotel booking that I screwed up. I'm going to talk about that briefly, but we're going to save that for another episode.
They're stressful things.
But
I've had my period in 2 years, but I got it on that trip. I think my husband did too.
I think I blew through my Botox.
It's because I have an IUD,
a vocal node.
Guys. It's not because I'm old. I have an IUD. So
well, I'm old, but shit was going down. But we did go out to the local town that was close to our Airbnb, and when we got there, we were driving back and we noticed this super long line of traffic, which is that particular that particular road is the only way to access the Airbnb, right? So you can't, in Costa Rica, there's no you are not allowed to go on side roads. That is literally reserved for the people that understand how to drive in a rainforest, which is not us in our Toyota Rush.
Their best roads are the worst road in your town, probably.
I mean, there's no, these people are so skilled at living in the rainforest, and we are not. We are from Nebraska. We are from flat and open spaces. We have no business taking side roads to anything.
Let's just say, every girl will have torn her hymen at age 8 or 9 because of the road
The
situation.
roads. We bounced so much, I thought one of my implants was going to explode.
I honestly said, Britt, if I were pregnant right now, because you go over bumps
you
when
would
you're
just
pregnant.
pee yourself. You'd go start labor.
Like, bite a hole through your knuckle.
Like there's literally dips in the road that are like.
It hurts your brain if you take them too fast.
I held my pee-pee a couple times because I didn't want to go through my linen pants.
It jostles every single part of your body. Don't go if you have a heart condition.
Yeah.
It's like
Colin said, I kept going, oh God.
Oh jeez.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We'd go over the bumps.
And it's like,
that was just the road that was to go to our Airbnb. Yeah. That was like considered pretty good.
Yeah.
So we had no business driving anywhere off of the beaten path. And I mean beaten to shit. So we got onto the paved highway and we noticed the line was really long. Then we noticed the line was really long. And then we noticed people walking towards us. We were like, what's going on? And one guy goes, here's the best part. We knew there was an accident. We had heard there was an accident. We knew there was a fatality, which is so sad. We had not told our carload of kids, except a wonderful passerby goes, yeah, semi hit a guy on a moped up there. He died. So it's going to take 3 hours to clear this road. We've all abandoned our cars.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh.
He said, cop said 3 hours.
So people literally left their cars and left. So we turned around and went back into this little town and we hung out at a wonderful little cafe called Amara for 3 hours.
Yep.
And you know what our kids did? They handled it. And I think it's partly because we handled it. Because those situations I can start to kind of come undone a little bit. And I didn't. I just tried to tell myself at any point this will end and you'll just go home and everybody will sleep and it'll be fine. And Jen was awesome. She just handled it. She's like, get chargers for the phones. Let them be on the phones. Let them play games. Let them go on walks. Go order desserts, order food if we need it. Like make everybody comfortable. And the 3 hours went by and then we were able to get back to our Airbnb by 11.
At the beginning of it, it felt like it was going to be terrible. And I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, this hasn't reached middle of the night ER waiting room situation. Right. It's not that bad yet because we had early dinner.
Yeah, we had early dinner.
So everybody was still kind of in good spirits, and people really are so nice.
They're so kind.
Literally, our waitress called her friend with a boat to see if he could take us back to our Airbnb.
And they loved our children.
But the water was too choppy, so we couldn't do it. So,
literally, that's the kind of people
they
are.
Didn't care how loud they were.
So beautiful. Costa Rican people are so beautiful. The men are
tan.
Oh my God. The women are beautiful. I was like, hello. One of our servers kept calling me lady. He was like, lady. Because I was trying to practice my Spanish, and I was like, un platos, por favor, meaning more plates. And he's like, lady, how many you want, lady? And I was like, stop calling me lady. You're supposed to flirt with me. I'm a señorita.
That's right.
Not a senior, a señorita. And he thought that was hilarious. No, he was like, you would be called chica or something. They're cool with it. And I was like, can you just pretend, sir? I get it that you're 25 and gorgeous, but you do want to make a little extra money on this American. You're going to throw some compliments in Spanish my way.
By the way, let's give it up for our kids in the full way that they deserve it, which is that we said at the beginning of that, when everybody was complaining, I want to get back to the house.
It was a long wait.
We said, just remember this is somebody's worst day, and they don't get to go home, and we do. So let's be appreciative of that and get along. And they did.
You know what? I think that resonated with them because they were Finn was so sunburned and so hot, and he does not like to go to bed late. And I was like, this is going to end badly.
He did great.
And I think we all just took a moment to be like, we're just happy to be here. Let's say a prayer and be good to go. And then the next day we hit the ground running, and we got home and we had a day at the beach. And I mean, it's picking up coconuts and shit. It was dreamy.
Yeah, so Chrissy, she was tour guide supreme. She planned this monkey experience, which
yes, was amazing. We got to feed monkeys.
You know what? I feel like I skipped the whole plane thing, but my favorite quote I've ever had in my whole life happened on that flight.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
No, just we got on the flight, and so okay, hold on. I got to look it up. I wrote it down. This is what I always do.
This is my worst nightmare. This has been what people have been saying to me lately. I got to tell you what your son said. And then there's a literal part of my butt that like flexes. And
every
I'm like,
single
here we
time
go.
She goes, oh, God.
Yeah.
So, but this is what happened. So the boys were right behind me in my seat on the airplane as we're taking off. And it's been 2 years since Dash has been on a plane at least. So he was a little bit, I think all the kids, right? They were a little bit
2
nervous.
years, 2.5 years.
So so they're on the flight. I look back and Dash is going, like shaking his feet a little bit. And I go, what's going on, bud? He goes, I'm scared. I go, what are you scared of? And he said, the plane taking off. And Finn goes, I'm scared that I won't fit in. And I was like,
Finn just gave his fear of life, not a fear of the flight or Costa Rica. He's like,
that's not what I'm asking.
6th grade's going to be hard. I've got to, Jen, can I unpack a few things?
Yeah, so he is his mother.
My locker. My locker combination, forgetting my locker.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to tell you, right now it's on the forefront of my mind. It is kind of at all times, not worried about the plane crash. I want to fit in. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's cute.
It's adorable. It's ridiculous.
There's a few things he said that I won't restate because they were real brat-tastic.
Here's another one from my daughter that I love. Didn't happen on the plane, but I had to write it down, you guys, because I couldn't believe she said this. We're swimming at the swim-up bar pool, and she sees this little girl, and she goes, I want to say hi to her. I'm like, well, do it. Like, you know, because we're learning how to be friendly and make friends. She goes, well, I said hi to her, and she didn't say hi back. I go, well, we're in another country. She might not speak English. She goes, she doesn't. She speaks British. I was like, well, that should have translated, though. That's not that different. It sounds nicer.
They honestly have more words in their vocabulary than we do, so sometimes it is hard. And if they're from certain parts of England, you can't make heads or tails of what they're saying. So fair.
All right. Know. Here's a quote from my friend Kristin.
Oh, no.
Yep.
No.
No, this one you should say, oh, no. Okay. So we were at this beach. A lot went down. Eleanor got stung by a jellyfish.
Yep.
We had one person get stung by a dead bee. And we were talking, what are we going to do if there's allergic reactions to any of these things? And Chrissy, the other mom, said, well, I'm sure that the lifeguards carry EpiPens. And Kristin goes, yeah, and they're all in really good shape. And I was like, Kristin, have you been listening to this conversation at all? While we are concerned with there being some sort of an anaphylactic reaction, she is watching a lifeguard do push-ups in the sand and cannot focus on what is happening at all. And as I'm making fun of her, she's still watching them. She's still watching one run towards a rescue and not concerned with the peril. She is like, look at his back. Wow.
I was standing there trying to listen and care about the bee sting but then in the background was this Costa Rican Baywatch lifeguard.
Yeah, the voice was too loud in her brain that was saying, look how hot these.
Well, I started watching him. First of all, there was kind of a little bit of the waves are no joke in Costa Rica. You do have to be kind of careful because it's a big surf community and some of the waves. And they were very concerned about this one particular area having a riptide.
Yeah.
And I was listening about the bee sting and I was listening about Eleanor's freaking jellyfish sting. Everybody was fine. I was a little bored with the information. I decided to let my gaze wander and then I saw this lifeguard in full sprint, which, and we'll get to sprinting, has been a very different experience for me. So he's running across and he's got long kind of curly hair and it's bouncing.
We did think we saw Jason Momoa at
it was point, like watching honestly. Jason Momoa run across the beach and my brain was like, whoa. So then I thought to myself, boy, that guy's fast. Boy, that guy can run a long time. Boy, he's really fit. Oh, he seems strong too. I think we're in good hands if anything happens. And then I was like, looks so good wet. Like,
Well,
and that's where my brain started to audible what it was thinking out loud. And I had realized at that moment I hadn't listened to the last 2 minutes of the conversation.
well, in all fairness, you did call to my attention there was nowhere in that suit to keep an EpiPen. So I doubt he had one. No.
He didn't have an EpiPen.
No.
And I would just like to say, I've never gone out to get into a riptide faster. I threw myself into that riptide hoping for a saving, but it did not happen. They told me to get out of the water. They were like, ma'am, we know what you're doing.
Deep, ma'am.
We know. But in all fairness, the man I liked watching run the most was Colin Sweeney, who brought it full tilt to this vacation. My husband decided.
He's got some good bits, and he put them all on view.
He forgot his swimming trunks, so he went to a side. I knew how it was going to go down, because if you've ever heard us talk about the romper of Hawaii 2018, I knew what was going to happen. He forgot his swimming trunks.
A reasonable pair of swim trunks that he normally wears.
Nope, I knew he wouldn't go get those, so he went into Discoteca Costa Rica, and he bought the smallest nut huggers you could find.
Yeah, I think it came in a little, like a deck of cards box.
Yeah, and he put those on, and honestly, I thought they looked really good. There was like the Taj Mahal on them for some reason, which is weird in Costa Rica.
The irony of all of it was I saw him first because I was manning the chairs to make sure nothing got stolen, and he's like, about to go embarrass my wife, and then he just full
sprinted.
Speed, takes off.
By the way, he overestimated how long that run was from the side to the ocean water.
He does have a good run.
He has a good run, but I knew he was huffing and puffing. His lungs were going to hurt. I knew he had not done that. That he had been poolside nacho bar the whole time. So I was like,
Let me tell you what these trunks were and why it was so uncomfortable for all of us that Kristin liked them so much. They basically looked like a pair of boxer briefs,
but as tight as a human could wear them.
And it sort of seemed like, if you ever go to like a gay pride parade, they're wearing these sort of the equivalent of like a miracle bra for your junk.
It was pushed in.
I couldn't look him in the eye. It was so uncomfortable. And he decided that he liked the suit and was going to wear it for multiple days. It's a lot to deal with.
So it became a quote unquote running bit that every time we were at the beach, Colin Sweeney would wait. We would go to the beach. He would show up wearing those little shorty shorts, and he would sprint from wherever he is all the way to Jen's husband, who was laughing so hard that it looked like he was going to
couldn't
breathe. Yeah. And my husband would full sprint. And I got to tell you, it was a turn on. So it wasn't just, I think it's sprinting that turns me on.
I don't know, but all of it was
uncomfortable. It looked different than the lifeguard, I'll tell you that. But it did. It wasn't something I couldn't appreciate.
It wasn't his tan. That's for sure.
Oh my God, he's the whitest. And here's the thing, Colin's such a big guy. He's like 6'3", he's like over 250, and he can sprint. So to see that much in full motion, it's not like looking at a lean Costa Rican lifeguard going into the water. It's like someone that's surprising you.
That's if you see Colin coming at you, that's like a chest hair locomotive running down the street. And he's also, by the way, Britton said he watched him and he was like, at first he's like, look at how tight those are on his butt. And then he was like, well, that's where Finn got his speed from.
He's really fast. For the size he is.
He runs like the Terminator too.
It's a lot. He's real tight in the shoulders. I got to tell you, I don't think his form's good in that way.
Well, I'll tell you this. Here's the other thing about Colin and his swimsuits, because he will jump in the pool in a Speedo. And the remarkable thing, and you got to give it up for a guy like this, is he can stand around and drink a beer and eat nachos in this. It doesn't matter if it is like a Speedo, if it is like a entire rash guard. He's got the same confidence really throughout. He's unaware. It doesn't matter what your level of comfort is, but he's fine. You're fine with it all.
Deep diving into some of the biggest problems in our marriage.
I don't know.
There's such a good side and bad side to this situation. I'm like, go change your shirt for dinner. What the? But he is so joyful, and all he wants to do, he's Irish, man. He wants to sit there with people, be joyful, hang out at a pool bar, have a good time. That is Colin Sweeney's sweet spot. And it's your sweet spot too. And the two of you get a kick out of each other, and then Britt's there to just make fun of me.
Yeah.
And like,
and he and I can have those boring conversations that nobody else likes to
I
have
can't
about.
get out of there fast enough.
I do. I like it because he's smart and his perspective is different. And I always feel like I learn something from his perspective, and I don't know if he learns anything from mine. But I enjoy it, and especially if I'm
into
6 to 7 pomegranate vodkas in, I can really learn a lot about.
He is a good conversation.
I can learn a lot from a guy in a Speedo.
I had such a good time just being out in that sun and being in that water, and the rainforest is so beautiful and interesting. And
just
there's
like finding cool rocks and shells on the
little
beach
creatures like the iguanas, and like it is a very quick reminder that like you are very small on the totem pole when it comes to the rainforest. The rainforest is like, I'll let you guys be here, but just know that at any point I can make life really hard for you, or I can open up and be really beautiful. So don't piss me off.
When we got to see a little waterfall that was nestled in the rainforest, and the weird takeaway that I got from that is how oddly safe I felt being there.
The whole time, the guides feel like, I felt that too. They make it really, it's just so perfect. They make it really accessible, and it's crazy. You can go down on your butt. I didn't do it because I was worried about it hurting, but the kids did go down the slide, the natural waterfall slide, and it was awesome. You did it too.
I did it. I was scared. As I was doing it, I was like, "This
rinsing out her hoo-ha because it got sand in it."
Yeah, this is the whole time. I'm still finding sand in places, but like I thought, well, this is gonna wreck me. But I want to say I slid down a waterfall in a rainforest. But I was so worried about making sure I did it so I didn't injure myself that I just dove in the water like I didn't know it was going to be there. I like landed in it, and it all went up my nose. And it went like so far into my sinuses that I was like, this is going to be an earache.
Everybody's
so now I have an earache.
Finn definitely has a little bit of stuff too. All the kids had swimmer's ear. Like
I think
we definitely had some.
Does it somehow? The cold water of a waterfall.
Who knows, man? And
but it was a once in a lifetime experience. I'm like, I'm not going to miss out.
Oh God, no! And we took full advantage. I think we did it perfectly. Not too much, but not lazy. Yeah. I don't like lazy days from beginning to end because then I'm like, oh, I'm so bored. Yeah. I want to have stuff to do.
And then you're not really experienced. You could do that in a cheaper place or an easier to fly to place.
Right. I'll just go to Palm Springs.
Totally.
But I will say this. We went on a monkey tour, which is literally life-changing, and we'll post videos about it because like I've started bawling at one point because I couldn't believe like we were getting to like hold these little monkeys, and one had a baby monkey on her back, and Eleanor's face looked like it was overload, like the worlds met. But we were on this boat tour, and the guide was wonderful, and he was telling us. So then this other tour came up, and he started getting salty because he was like, "Oh, the other guy's not operating his boat the right way." And in my head, I'm like, these guys do this all the time. There's zero danger to any of this. Nope, our boat's hit, and the guy came flying off the front. But Rafa was like, it is because he drinks too much beer and smokes too much of the marijuana.
Yeah.
And so we're like, I'm happy to know the other guy's tour guide is high and drunk.
I saw what happened.
And he was perfectly fine, you guys. He flew like 10 feet and got up, was like,
I guess I
I fell off the boat.
But he said it in a very like happy voice. But I did. They were too close to the side. They were supposed to be on the other side of us.
Can't run the show all the time.
The branch got caught on the canopy and stopped the boat, and so
that guy flew off
the end.
It was wonderful,
incredible. And then Colin, thank God he wasn't in that Speedo, had to jump out. We got high grounded.
Yeah,
right?
So Colin had to get out. Who knows what was in that water?
Gators.
And pull us through the water.
Gators. I don't know.
He was a real hero. He liked to remind everybody that he was the hero of the day. And I was like, no, it was petting monkeys, but It was a good day
job,
for
him. He really did help. It could have been a long day because I wasn't about to get out of that boat. There was no way.
No.
You would have.
That would be where I would pull. I'd be like, I'm okay with a lot of critters, but the murky water. No,
it was right by all these like high weeds and stuff.
Yeah,
like
no
that
thanks.
too.
No
like
thanks.
God, that could be anything.
It's gonna murder
like
us.
Swamp thing for sure.
Let me just say, here's a little pro tip that I would tell anybody. We learned the hard way. When you get to Costa Rica, where we went, the beach we went, which was Playa Hermosa, which I wouldn't recommend. That's not my favorite beach of all we saw, but I thought it was a nice place to stay.
The time of year, it was the rainy season.
It was the rainy season,
different.
and so it was different. But there are other beaches to see, but you're driving 2 hours, whether you want to or not. And we did it after we landed. And it was, nighttime. It was nighttime, and there are no street lamps. And Costa Rica is a place where people like to walk everywhere on the side of the road in the middle of the night. And there's dogs that cross the street.
And very difficult. If you got to use Google Maps, is the name of a highway is about 18 words long.
We a lot of marriage, a lot of fights between my husband and I on that drive. I find that's something I discovered about myself is that I can really come undone if there's a little bump in the road, literally, I kind of come undone. I was at my wit's end because we did not get into the hotel. We did not get into the Airbnb until 2 a.m. And that just felt really hard and really scary. And what we should have done is just get a hotel by the airport,
yes,
the Hampton
Inn.
It was so easy. Wake up the next day and you get to see the rainforest. Now we know.
Yeah.
So there was that.
Yeah. That's just stuff that you learn. And sort of, I remember every day there was some kind of a hiccup.
But kind of a thing you had to challenge you had to kind of overcome.
But I can't even remember them now because
I
remember
do.
the good. What?
My worst one. Well, we're going to talk about the zip line on another episode.
Well, the shower door did fall off when I was in there one time, but that's another.
I will say, I did really mess up. When we booked this trip, Jen and I were at the peak of touring, and I knew we needed a hotel.
Yeah.
To go. We were going to drive to San Jose and take our flight from there, but knowing that the drive was 2 hours on the other end, I was like, well, let's get a hotel the day before.
Yep.
So then it's easy travel the next morning because our flight left at 8 a.m.
Which
so otherwise we'd have to get up at 2 a.m. to drive, and that felt unsafe.
Yeah. Then you've got kids angry all
So
day.
I booked us a hotel, and I did not look at the map. And the hotel was in the middle of San Jose, which, again, I'd like to say the Costa Rican people are lovely. But San Jose is a giant city, and it has a downtown that is very sketchy. And it's like downtown LA. It is like very hard to drive in, and a lot of people and crime and a lot of just like any part of a city, there's a good part and there's a bad part. I found a hotel I felt like what would be next to the local prison.
Well, just to describe it, to give you an idea, take San Jose, California.
Off the map.
Which is where Grand Theft Auto has a series, that game. Now multiply that by 14 or 15 and you've got San Jose, Costa Rica.
We were driving. It was not a good place for tourists to be. And that's why everybody stared at us like, you did this wrong. So we got closer to the hotel, and Jen and Britt were 30 minutes behind us. And I've never acted more badly in front of my children. I've never cussed more. I've never cried harder. My phone stopped working, my service stopped working, and Colin's charge died. So I got out of the car in the middle of this very busy, very tough neighborhood, and in my bright, summery dress, I start running down the street to find any place that would sell a cigarette charger. Very nice people inside. They saw that I was a disaster. I bought the charger. I got back in the car. Then I started to calm down a little bit. And then we got the charge. I called Jen. I said, this is not the place to stay. Find a place next to the airport. Britt was able to get off the exit, found a Hampton Inn. We booked a place at the Hampton Inn, and all was fine. But I have never been, I was so mad at myself that I didn't do the homework. Because I'm usually, when it comes to travel and when people are traveling with me, I'm very thorough. I just
was so apologetic and beating herself up about it. And I'm like, that
you
whole
weren't there.
World that you experienced, we didn't. We didn't have that.
I regret how badly I acted in front of my kids because they saw me come undone. But it was just panic mode. And then everything was fine. Then we got to the Hampton Inn. I was never so happy to be at a Hampton Inn.
Oh my God.
Only in Costa Rica could the Hampton Inn serve the most delicious salmon you've ever had in
they're
your life.
very different than they are here.
Yeah, I'm here it's fried chicken and mac and cheese. Not terrible.
No, but this was very good. It was a great Hampton. I had no idea. It was my husband remembered. This was great. He remembered that it was near the place you drop off the car.
Yeah.
And because I was like, no, that's not going to be my first pick. But I looked it up, and it was literally across the parking lot from the car return. I'm like,
right.
Well, you've won this time, Britt McAdams.
Right. He did. He won the day. Everything was fine. And then our flight home because of that was delightful.
Easy.
And I think we all like felt a little sad on this one to like leave because it felt so different and special, and it didn't feel like we were tourists. It felt like we had a little bit of a like living experience somewhere else, and I think we all felt a little sad to go.
Well, my son sharded at the airport, so I was ready to go, I'll tell you, because we made it there fine, and then
Let's be honest, we all shirted at one point on this trip.
I
was
did.
constipated for 3 days.
Well, we sat down, we had breakfast, and at some point he goes, Mom.
I just cried my pants.
Mom, do you have extra underwear? I go, I always have extra underwear. And he goes,
but they're hers. They're not his.
And he goes,
she's
mine?
packing for her.
Are they mine? I go, no, why? What? He goes, I thought I was going to toot, and I had a little accident. And
he trusted it.
I sent my husband and him to the bathroom with some wet ones and my Victoria's Secret boy shorts. and to his credit, my husband said he really ogled them for a long time, wondering if they'd be more comfortable than just going commando. But ultimately, he threw his Minecraft.
Then my husband took those underwear and wore them on the flight.
Exactly.
I think that's asking too much of those underpants.
All right, I have a quick mom box.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you, Costa Rica.
We love
highly
you,
recommend
Costa
for a family vacation. And if you can't do that, do something. Mom box.
Monique sent us an email. Love to get all of your messages, ladies. She said, we just had the best girls' night out at your Austin, Texas show.
Such a fun
Thank
show.
you. We had to share a photo of our tickets and how much the Paramount Theater logo looks like a penis with rays shooting out of the top. We definitely need to put that on the podcast page. The live show is a good time, and we have pictures, unexpected
photos of artwork from children that look like
wieners,
as they do. Wieners.
Unexpectedly, the Paramount Theater is it looks like a
it totally
wiener
looks
with
like
some
a wiener.
issues, though. Really,
it looks like a wiener that should not be messed with.
It looks like a wiener you're gonna find in the swampy grass of a river in Costa Rica. Hot flash.
I just want to say one quick hot flash that you and I both felt so sad is we want to give all of our love to the family of Olivia Newton-John and all those Aussies out there who are feeling so sad that she passed away at 73, which is too freaking young.
Too young.
And that woman endured breast cancer over and over and over and became an advocate for breast cancer. And I did a little research on her, and I think she got breast cancer for the first time in 91. And like nobody was talking about breast cancer. Not only were they not talking about it, it was a little like a faux pas to talk about it. And so she really changed the game. She opened the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Foundation in Melbourne, where you can go get treatment center. And she's just somebody who's been an advocate her whole life. And also just her spirit is so kind and lovely. And if you didn't ever watch Grease when you were young and think, I just want to be her for 5 minutes, you're crazy.
Well, that's what I was going to say, that she influenced an entire generation in so many good ways, because just, she was such a good singer, but she was also like, she was a hero in that she was like, you can be salty and saucy and sweet and all these things that girls are. And like everybody said at some point, tell me about it, stud.
Yeah, tell me about it, stud.
Like she was, so thank you, girl. And God love to all of your family for all that you did for so many people.
And Olivia Newton-John, man, you are like top in the girl squad, that's for sure.
I had your album. I think I wanted to kiss you at some point.
Sure. I wore black leather pants, but to even say they were in the same world as the pants she wore is, I don't think hers had elastic, but I'm just saying.
You made us want to all get physical.
Get physical. I want to get. We did that in our video. I love her. We love you, Olivia Newton-John. I think that's the best way to end our podcast today.
Bye, y'all. Bye.